I guess I'll let Zane kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit of what our plans are here.
Kraken Up, the Carpies podcast, where we talk everything Carpies. Here's your host, Derek Carpoletti.
What's up, everybody? We're back for season 2 of the Kraken Up podcast, the Carpies podcast, and today we have two damn near legends at this point. After sweeping all the wins in 2024 practically, this week's guests we got Zane and John Harvey on. What's up going on, guys?
How you doing, bud?
What's up?
Not too much, I'm just enjoying some of this Harvey special moonshine, watching the NASCAR race. Couldn't be a better day.
Heck yeah. Attaboy. Take one for the team.
So this is the first weekend in a while you guys have been just sitting on the couch.
Yeah, it's been a different change of pace for sure this weekend.
How many weeks in a row were you guys going at it? Started in April?
Yeah,
I think a little bit in April, but we really started in May, and ever since then, man, we've just been wide open.
Yeah. Walk me through like a typical week once the season's in full swing. I know everybody sees the victory lane photos and all the glamour, but what goes into it from when you guys get home Sunday night to when you go back to the track Friday? What's the week kind of look like?
It's all week. Usually take Monday. It's usually our wash day, get it done, and then the rest of the week is just tuning, doing tires, getting those ready. Anything we got to do to the car, we'll do to that. But we always make sure she's tip top and go back at it.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be Zane Harvey, but nobody wants to put the work in that it takes to execute at the level that you guys did this year. And you said making sure the car's tip top. That's another thing that you guys, at least from what I've noticed, nothing is done halfway. The car is always nice. The trailer is always clean. Everything looks as professional as possible, and the performance on the track clearly shows that.
Yeah, it's a lot of work, but we dedicate ourselves to it, and it's nice when it paid off as well as it did this year.
Yeah, for sure. So you guys ended up with, 19 wins, two track championships, and the Rush title?
Yep.
Yeah. What tracks did you guys go to total?
We mostly raced McKean, State Line. Those were our primary tracks. And then we hit a couple up at Bradford and Genesee Speedway as well.
And then we just ended the year out there. We took a cruise down to Lernerville to run with the UMPs down there, just to try it out, new track, let Zane, get a first-hand experience of going to Lernerville, which was pretty cool. Kind of a no-pressure deal going down there to the end of the year. It was fun, man. We took the camper and we had a good time.
So you had a good time, but what fueled that good time? Did you have any secret sauce in the pits there? I mean, I probably shouldn't say that because then he'll get accused of something else. But
we had some stuff. Let's just put stuff. And even our neighbors that were camping with us enjoyed that stuff as well.
Oh, yeah. There's never a dull moment in the Harvey pits, that's for sure. We stopped down and caught one of the races on Wonelli's week at Freedom. And I saw you guys had your puppy there. How did he make out for the whole season?
No, he's growing, that's for sure. No, he does well. It's cool.
Yeah, I would imagine it's kind of I know my dog probably wouldn't enjoy that. Like, we took him up to Chapel Hill for the TQ midgets, and he had a good time with that for about, I don't know, about 15, 20 minutes, and then he was about over it. Is it, you think it's better to start bringing your dog to the track when it's younger and they don't know anything else, I would imagine?
Yeah, absolutely.
So you guys obviously have like a a lot of good backing this season. You had a lot of good sponsors. Schweitzer obviously was one of them. He seems like a big pivotal role in the success of the team. How much is he involved in everything?
He's just, this program wouldn't be able to be possible without him. When we took Zane from the karts, Craig and I kind of got together and sitting on my front porch one night and just was like, hey man, let's take this kid and let's get him this car. And so we got the first car, which we ended up totaling out with the throttle sticking at McKean that first year. So that was kind of devastating. But Craig had that no quit attitude, man. He wanted to see the kid in a car, and him and Zane actually went on a hunting trip that winter. And on their way back, they swung into Kryptonite and ordered a brand new car. Craig's the car owner. We did, Zane drives it. I help wherever I can with the deal. And without Craig, man, none of this would even be possible. I mean, he's really a huge, huge, huge part of what we're doing here.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know Craig all that well, but I mean, I've known him over the years doing some printing with him for his businesses. And he definitely has a pretty amazing work ethic from what I've noticed from a distance. He's always full throttle, never seems to be backing down.
Yeah, he's got quite a bit going on there with having the Schweitzer services and where they do all kinds of landscape and excavation and gravel. And then on the other side of that, the CES storage and rentals. He has a storage facility in Little Genesee with a building where the barn, it's a store there. It's like a scratch and dent store. So he's got a lot going on, and and then throw a race car on top of all that, it's a lot, but he does well with it. And we're really happy and really, really happy to have him part of what we're doing here.
Oh yeah, for sure. So you mentioned that you guys started in the go-karts. Let's rewind so we can get a wider skew of where Zane came from. So I know a lot of people might have just noticed him the last few years popping up with the modified and doing really well, but he's been racing for a while. You said he started out in karts.
Yeah. I, against his mother's wishes, I put him in a go-kart when he was 4 years old.
Oh, wow.
He was a wild man right out of the gate, kind of the full throttle, not give a shit type attitude behind the wheel. And so we raced the karts all the way up through till we got to the open cart, which is kind of, that's kind of the top shelf when you're in the karting world, is to get an open. And we did a lot of snowmobile drag racing, uphill snowmobile drag racing too, that Zane and his brother Bryce, they both excelled really well in that. And just kind of, like I said, Craig was the kind of guy that just to like push us to that next level, something Zane and I couldn't do on our own. And fortunately Craig was, seeing something in him and wanted to see where it would take him.
Yeah. So when he raced karts, what was the success level there?
Oh man, numerous wins. I would say probably in the 200-ish mark of wins. I mean,
wow.
We won a lot back then with the go-kart stuff. We had some good help back then with Mike P's Motorworks Machining. They kind of took us under their wing there for quite a few years with the go-karts. And so that was a fun time back then. But it's, man, nothing like the fun we had this year, man. It's just been unbelievable.
Yeah. And in the karts, did you guys stay fairly local, or did you do a little more regional, national type racing?
A lot of local stuff. And we also did some traveling with those too. When we could, if we wanted to just go piss around somewhere and see how we stacked up against people, we would venture out, but mainly local stuff with the karts.
Yeah. So the thing that I think I find fascinating, and I know other people do as well, is Zane. He's the most calm, pulseless person I probably ever met, and I say that as a compliment. But when you watch him race, you would never guess that.
Yeah.
He's like balls to the wall, full throttle, with almost like a no, don't give a shit attitude almost. But pre-race, you can hardly tell he's awake, and post-race, he gets out of the car as calm as possible.
Yeah.
Is that Zane on a daily basis? Or is that just him at the track?
No, that's just, he's been that way his whole, like, man, I'm always like, man, aren't you excited? Because the guy's like a stone, you know. And, man, aren't you? Yeah, I'm excited. You know, that's about as excited as it gets there, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome. So if you had to, I guess, compare, I guess I'll ask both of you this question. If you're going to compare Zane to like a professional race car driver, who would he be the most similar to in personality and then in driving style?
Oh, man. I don't even know. I don't even know if there's anyone as calm as this guy out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. You know, I really don't. As far as his driving style, I really don't know who to even compare the guy to. I mean, he's just got his own deal, you know, and been really fortunate to see him accomplish the things he has at 19 years old. You know, I mean, it's a lot of people, I think, forget, you know, he's just a kid still, you know. I mean, he doesn't carry himself like that, of course, but
right.
You know, that's the reality of it. He's still just a really young guy that's got a bright future ahead of him if we can just keep plugging away here.
Yeah. And leading into the future, do you guys have any plans for next season? Do you guys have, you're going to do the same old deal, or are you going to upgrade? You got different sponsors coming on board? Anything you want to talk about specifically?
We have been talking to some people, some different marketing partners already that are looking to come aboard, which is great. You know, any help we can get, man, we're open armed for that. You know, it's huge for what we're doing. I guess I'll let Zane kind of let the cat out of the bag a little bit of what our plans are here.
Yeah, so, I mean, next year we're planning on doing a UMP.
Oh, yeah.
Just want to travel around a little bit, you know, see what we got. It's time to move up, and yeah, that's about it.
You know, that Rush series, also like to give a shout out to them too. They've been, Vicky and Mike have been great. You know, this class is designed for a beginner, you know, as he moves through the ranks. You know, that's really what this series is about, is to take an up and coming driver and let him test the waters, you know, see where he stacks up against some veterans, because there is some veterans in that class. You know, and the first year we did it, Zane was able to be the Futures Cup champion. Last year, being our second year, we ended up second in points. And then, of course, this year was just phenomenal, and we were able to catch that title for the championship. And I appreciate what Mike and Vicky do for that series, and giving a kid a shot, you know, at a young age to grow in the sport.
Yeah. And yeah, and then I guess, you know, that's what that was designed to do, was to groom someone like Zane and your whole team to move up to that next tier. So it's exciting. I like that there's no complacency, always up for a challenge. That's something I've always known from you guys, just in everything, whether it's on the business side, when it was in karting, and then now into the big car racing. So that's obviously a staple in your guys' MO.
Yeah, it's going to take a lot of resources to make this jump, you know, to that next level. But we're definitely up for it. and I think we're going to have some good help backing us to make the switch, and it's going to be exciting, man. It's going to be a whole new learning curve for us, like starting all over again. We're allowed to do a lot of different things from moving up into that class, and I guess that's what we're most excited about. We're just ready to play with some things and see how fast we can make this car go.
That's what it's all about. Circling back to the Rush stuff. You guys had 19 wins. Was that a record?
It was a record. The record previous to that was set in 2021 by Dennis Lunger with 17 wins.
Okay.
And as you know, we were able to squeak out that couple more there. So that's a pretty cool deal too.
Yeah. And I don't know if you guys want to talk about it, but there was obviously a little bit of controversy this year. People, you win a lot, so people assume that you might be doing something illegal to win. But that wasn't the case. You guys were clear on all allegations. It's just an impeccable season, and those seasons happen, but they're far and few between. And that doesn't even mean next year, if you guys ran the same Rush series, that you would have the same success. Sometimes everything just clicks just right.
Yeah. Zane did. This is our third year with the car. So we've Close Racing Supply, Kryptonite race cars. They were both pivotal in getting the car to where it was pretty close. And then Zane kind of took his deal on his own over the winter and changed some things up on the car, kind of the way he thought he would want. And man, that thing just came to life. It's a bad piece, and I think it will continue to be a bad piece, as far as putting a different motor and shock package and tire package. I mean, the thing's just so well balanced, and Zane just loves how it drives, and it shows. Yeah.
And for the listeners that don't know, the Rush Modified moving to a UMP, what is the difference? The chassis is the same, right?
Yeah.
What else? What's the difference between the two cars?
So you're allowed a different feel. On the Rush stuff, it's a spec class. So in the Rush deal, you had a spec fuel, a spec shock, a spec engine,
spec
tire, and then so now you're moving to an open motor per se. Where kind of horsepower is pretty much unlimited what you can throw at the thing. Well, we'll be on a different tire package. We'll be open shock package. You can put, I shouldn't say open shock package, but you can do a lot more with the shocks. Right. You don't have to run that exact spec shock. Mm-hmm. Fuels, you can run whatever you want to run there. So not like crazy amount of difference, but definitely get you on the more, I guess you're a little freer to do what you want to do with the car as opposed to what we were doing with the Rush.
And with the UMP cars, I'm assuming that rule package is kind of national. So you said you want to travel a little more. You'll be able to go to just about anywhere really and run with those local guys without a whole bunch of changes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So there's one thing I want to get into before we wrap this up here today. My guys at Carpies came out with some pretty cool merchandise to commemorate the amazing season that you guys had. So I want to announce that we're going to be dropping that merchandise Monday for any of the crowd pleaser fans they're interested in this merch. I'm going to drop an image up on the screen here in post. But the back has all the stats from the season, the wins, the track championships, the Rush logo, stating the championship for the season, as well as like a pretty cool illustration of Zane just sitting on like a mound of trophies.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So, all that'll be available on carpies.com. We'll have it on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that stuff. So anyone who's interested in that merchandise, it'll be available Monday. And if you're interested, I would get it soon because Zane Harvey sells a lot of merchandise.
Yeah. It's cool, man. You guys, this shirt is going to be really cool. Can't wait to see it out there and about. People wearing it. It's going to be badass.
Yeah, and so you're called. Let's get to that. You're called the crowd pleaser. I noticed it on the merchandise side that is clearly true. You have a pretty cult following. How did you get the name?
It's kind of funny. We got the first car and out of the carts and stuff, we did pretty good. And we're just sitting in the shop and they're like, man, you need a name. I'm like, all right. And I was like, well, I can't name myself. And all of a sudden Dad's just like, you know what? You're the old crowd pleaser. It just stuck from there.
It's fitting.
Yeah. I always thought he put on a hell of a show in them carts, and I knew it would be no different. Anything this kid gets in, man, it's going to be a show. If he has anything goes his way, man, it's going to be a badass time.
Yeah. The only name that I can think of that would be better than that or equivalent to would be like the Silent Killer.
Yeah, no shit, right?
Cool. Well, hey, is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we wrap this up about next year? Any sponsors you want to thank from this previous year?
Yeah, man, I'd really like to give a shout out to everyone that came aboard this year and helped us out. We had some amazing help, man, this year. We had Taylor and Armstrong Paving and Sealing out of Eldred, PA. Ed and his family, man, they've really gotten behind us 100%. It's kind of cool, get behind a local kid, and Ed was willing to do that, which is great. Of course, Close Racing Supply, Joel Smith, he keeps us in all the parts. And any stupid questions we have, he always seems to guide us in the right direction.
He's a guy who loves stupid questions.
Oh man, dude, man, I'm so glad he's in our backyard where we can utilize all of his knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
He's a great dude too. Always treated us great. Burtville Enterprise, they've been on with us right from the get-go. Dale, he's a great guy. I know him and Craig have a pretty good business relationship as well.
Mm-hmm.
Dale didn't even hesitate to come aboard right from the get-go. We got Six Star Auto out of Eldred. My buddy Brett Berry, I used to build some hot rods with him back in the day. He wanted to be a part of what we had going on. So shout out to Brett, man. He's a great guy as well. You guys, Carpies, man, I don't even know. You guys have done so much for us, man. And I just want you to know we appreciate everything that you've done and continue to do for us. We had Reclusive Energy come aboard this year, kind of last minute, man, and very proud to carry that banner for those guys. Jeff Schweitzer there, he was able to pull the trigger and say, yeah, let's do it. And so glad he did, We got Beaver Trucking and Excavating out of Shingle House, PA. Beaver.
Oh, yeah.
So
Beaver has to be your biggest fan.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, I'm going to start carrying some Twisted Tea banners or something for him. We got to have like, instead of, yeah, there you go. Shout out to Beaver. Yeah. So then we got Andy Paul. He came aboard this year, him and his group of folks at Chestnut Hill Outfitters. Andy pulled together some resources from him and his guys, and that was really cool. Andy kind of stepped out of his way to make that happen, to be a part of what we had going on this year, so shout out to Andy, man. That we appreciate everything you and the guys do for us. We got Diddle Enterprise, which is my mom.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of something we just came up with. That's kind of her nickname that we all have to call her, and she's really a huge part of what we do too. she's retired, and she's cleaning the trailer and toting tires around and whatever. She's in the parts washer, cleaning gears and whatever you need from her, man. So shout out to Diddle, because she's a big part of what we do. Zane's girlfriend, Emily, also a huge part in our program. Craig, huge, as I said earlier, I mean, none of this would be possible without Craig, man. And we want him to know that we appreciate everything he does for us. And as a father, man, I appreciate everything he does for my son.
Right.
Yes. And pretty much my boys are like sons to Craig as well. Craig and I have been friends for a long time. And so it's quite a special thing we got going, with everyone that's involved in this, kind of a family. It's just basically a family deal, man. There's really don't have any outside help. We all do it as a family, and we win as a family, we lose as a family, and we go home together as a family,
Yeah.
Did I forget any sponsors? I hope not. I hope I didn't. Just trying to get them all in there.
It sounds like all of them.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, you even got Beaver, so you couldn't have left anybody out. So.
Oh, yeah, we can't leave Beaver hanging.
So, you mentioned Emily, Zane's girlfriend, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's taken over most of like the social media end of things, right?
Yeah, Emily she's she does her schedules for like a month. She does all the artwork stuff, and gets it out there. I think people like to see that, hey, shit, they're going to be here, they're going to be there.
Yeah.
And then on we try to keep that Harvey Motorsports page going, to kind of keep letting people know what's going on and stuff. And I do usually all the write-ups when we do a write-up. I kind of taken that, and I try to do what I can with it. I'm not the most savviest fellow, but we try to put in there what we got to get out, and it's been good, man. We've had good response of all that stuff.
Yeah, I've noticed a big uptick in that from you guys this season specifically. And I know like people go out and they always ask for sponsorships and branding deals and stuff, but they don't. I guess I don't know the right way to say it. I should be careful, but a lot of people don't do a good job at it. They think just putting the logo on a car is any kind of value, and at the end of the day, it's really not. It looks cool, but you never hear someone come in, other than with you guys for some reason. But like, there's a couple people that have never been to our store, and they're like, "Oh, your boy's doing pretty good," and I'm like, "Who?" They're like, "Zane." But for the most part, like those things, they look cool. They're cool for like photo ops and stuff, but they don't necessarily draw business. You have no way of telling like the return on investment on those kinds of things. But when you guys do a good job with like social media, that's the biggest draw, I would say, for like a sponsor. You guys build your following up. People are more informed on what's going on. They see those logos on the car consistently. You guys tag businesses, all those things. Those the little things I think add up the most. Like when people ask us for sponsorships, I usually tell them like the logo on the car's cool, but that doesn't sell me more t-shirts. Like I need the social media engagement. I need like you to talk to people at the track about us. Because people see a logo on the car, but they don't, that's not what they're watching for. You know what I mean? It's there, but it's maybe in the back of their mind, but no one's there to research the sponsors on the car. You know what I mean? So
Right.
Like that engagement in the pits, if someone came up and was talking to you about something and those things come up, or you post about it on social media, those things go further, I feel, in my opinion, than a logo on a car does. And a lot of people don't really grasp that. So when like pages like you guys, and there's some others that do a really good job with it too, as a sponsor, I appreciate those things more, in my opinion. So I just want to commend you guys on another victory for the season.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I mean, I'm proud to do it for all of our sponsors. I had went to a few sponsors last year, had a sponsor letter wrote up, tried to be as professional as we could about it. And, I had a couple of them were like, well, what do we have to gain out of this? What are you going to offer? And I'm like, man, we're kicking up our social media this year. We're going to really get your name out there as much as we can on and off the track. And for some people that wasn't enough. And I understand, that's not everyone's gig, but really looking forward to 2025, man. I mean, I hope we have some success. I'm sure we will at some point, but definitely looking forward to some new marketing partners coming aboard, some old marketing partners staying aboard and maybe doing a little more. I know you and I have kind of brushed on that a little bit. We're going to figure something out, maybe do something a little bigger for next year.
Yeah.
And we have a couple other sponsors that are looking to do the same thing. So that's great. And we'll just have to see what it brings, man. It's going to be an adventure.
Yeah. So if somebody wanted to come on board, if they heard this podcast or they've been seeing your stuff throughout the season or the last couple of seasons, what is the best way to get a hold of you guys to reach out about getting involved with the team?
They could just direct message us right there on the Harvey Motorsports page, if they want to get a hold of us there, and then we can talk further on that and see what we can come up with, man.
Cool. Well, I appreciate your guys' time. I know it's your first weekend off and you're, for some reason, spending it with me. But I appreciate it nevertheless. So,
it was an adjustment. We just been kind of roaming around all weekend. Zane did work on the car. Was that Saturday?
Yeah,
I guess. Yeah, he did clean the shop. I mean, he was so bored he was cleaning the shop. So we're starting to get things tore apart and get geared up here. So it's never done. The reason it's never done, but when you're used to being busy every weekend at the racetracks, and then you get like this weekend, it's like, man, what the hell do we do with ourselves?
Yeah. I know we kind of briefly talked about it, but we got to get that car into a couple of preseason shows at the malls and such. We need to claim some best appearing trophies. The only trophies you didn't get last year were the best appearing at the shows.
Yeah, we've never. I don't even know if we did with the carts, if we ever did a show. We just never have done that. But this year, Zane, Craig, and I, we've all decided we'd like to at least try to make a couple of them. If nothing else, for our sponsors. We really want to do everything we can for our sponsors. It's hard to believe just how crucial it is to have the help and to get their name out there. And, this year, like you said, we really kicked up our marketing and it's huge. As a hillbilly from the hills, it's like, it's a new world for me. Luckily Zane's a young guy and Emily, they're kind of younger, so they kind of grasp a hold of it, and kind of guide an old fella through the ways, but it's definitely huge, man. And we plan on, and even stepping our game up again in 2025 with our marketing partners, even more. So,
yeah. So back on that, I, when people ask for sponsorships, I usually send examples of, you guys, and we sponsor a young man in upstate New York. He races on-road karts as like example pieces of like who does a really good job at what we're looking for. I mean, everyone looks for something different in a sponsorship, but for what we're looking for, like those are the things, like consistent posts, so someone knows what's going on. I mean, especially next year when you guys are traveling different places. This year, they kind of knew you're going to be at these 3 or 4 tracks pretty much consistently. But with next year, with the traveling, it's going to be huge. Plus more eyes for all the people that will see those logos on the cars and whatnot. You'll be in new demographics. So I think you'll get some new guys on there and even greater benefits for the guys that you have now. So
heck yeah.
All right. Well, we'll wrap it up. We'll catch the end of the NASCAR race, eat some tacos, and finish this this moonshine. So,
Yeah, you better finish that jar at least.
hold on.
You know, God hates a quitter. Atta boy.
I'll be asleep by 6.
That's all right. I'm sure you have an early day tomorrow anyway, right?
All right. I'm out of here. So make sure you say hi to your mom for me. She's our favorite customer. So
Absolutely, man. Hey, Carp, we appreciate everything you and Audra and your team does for us, and hope like hell to have another good year next year, man. With you coming back on board, and we'll see what it brings.
all right. And don't forget, check Facebook Monday. This episode will be up, obviously, and all the new St. Harvey merch. So keep your eyes out. Until then, see you next time.